gracias por la invitación. Es un honor poder I'll be speaking to you in English because I really want to make sure you hear me and feel my heart. It's an honor to be here with you and those amazing speakers who are sharing this common space with you. And I wish souls and hearts who are directed toward moving your lives and the lives of others towards peace, and who are shaping a brighter future for Mexico and for the world. I do want to thank the Council for the Promotion of Human Rights, its President, Javier Benitez Gomez, and Director Cristina Gomez. But I'm hopeful that I'm going to say one thing in this speech that will touch you and will aid you in your journey as you move on. Now, I look at the horizon, I look at the earth, and I thank God that I've arrived safely, and the passengers that I'm with have arrived safely. And secondly, I'd like to confirm the place that I'm going to be standing on. So when I arrived in Mexico, I got off the plane, and I looked at the horizon. This time I was catapulted back to 2006. I was here for about 6 months that year. It was the presidential election in Mexico. It just happened, and many people were protesting in the streets. I was in Mexico City. I was staying in Reforma, and I had the opportunity to walk the streets, witnessing the tents filled with people, all of them screaming out to be heard. And as I walked amongst them, many were voicing their thoughts about conditions that they felt needed addressing in this country. Thousands were on the streets, striking because of the results. And as I saw, I was reminded of all those marches, all those scenes that the U.S. had in the 60s. As reminded of Martin King, as reminded of Nelson Mandela, as reminded of Gandhi. And also about the sacrifice who stood up for what they thought was right, the people. I was inspired by the people here. I was inspired by those who were leaving their jobs, adjusting their lives to be a part of this movement. And we had a similar situation with the Bush election. Questions arose in Florida about the counting of votes, but the people back home realized that one of the votes they didn't march, they didn't strike. We could have taken a great lesson from you here in Mexico. It's the same lesson that we finally talked about Martin and Gandhi, which was to remain connected, to remain active, and to recognize that we can change the world. We can be the change that we wish to be in the world, as Gandhi said. So when I got off the plane this time in Monterrey, I looked at the earth, and I was happy to be in this beautiful city. And I was full of hope that this earth was going to be able to help me stand firmly as I spoke with you today. So I got in my car, I was driven to the hotel, and I spent the time on the drive looking out the window, saw the beautiful mountains, the greenery, taking the sights and sounds. And I was intrigued because there was a feeling in me, it was a feeling of familiarity. And I thought about the great losses that had occurred here in Monterrey. I thought about the 52 people that were killed, and I thought about the thousands upon thousands who were affected or touched directly, about the millions in this country, about the millions around the world, around the globe, how they were affected. Because the world feels this blow, it feels this scar, this rip in its soul. And I grew sad for you here, and for the faces that I imagined, all the faces that have been lost that will be going on to the next life. And I remember those I seen pass away in my neighborhood, when my uncle was beaten to death, my cousin been imprisoned, my friends who had been killed in the quest to live a life that had been taken away from them before they realized their dreams on this earth. I was playing this idea that I got on a plane. I wasn't really going anywhere, but that when I got off, everything changed, the streets, it changed the buildings, it changed the houses I was familiar with. It was some kind of set on a movie. And so I looked for all the similarities that the city had and it held from the one that I left. And I felt my friends was going to turn the corner suddenly and start laughing at me and let me in on this joke. But they don't know me. So I look at these faces, and these places where there's common link that I would soon discover. I would think, oh, this man right here reminds me of Charles, and that girl right there, she reminds me of this girl from my neighborhood. This next one right here, he laughs like my brother. And one of the special man would tell me that if I continue to do this, I would be able to see the different parts of the universe. They'll also be seeing the different, but they would be inherently the same. So when I was walking along the streets yesterday, visiting the universities and the people here, I was remembering the streets that I grew up on. I grew up in South Central LA. My parents moved to South Central to advance their lives. We come from a little country town. I was born in a country town called Longview in Texas. My dad wanted us to have a better life, so he moved us to South Central. We lived there. It was an amazing time, actually, in some ways, because of a lot of the conflict that was going on. There was a time of lots of riots, a lot of fighting for people to be able to feel like they belong and deserve the right to be able to be here. Civil rights were going on. They were trying to allow us to be able to sit in front of buses at that time. And there was also the birth of the gangs in the United States. So I was able to be able to watch the gangs begin, change their name from Burns, Bloods, to I watched them grow during that time. So I searched all the faces and places, and I could see one thing. I understood my friend, the spokesman was trying to tell me, he was saying that there's 5 different things that make the world turn. To take what seems like this chaos that we look at in the universe and recognize it as some form of order. He said that when I accepted this, that I would be able to recognize the truth, that there was just one thing, and that we were all part of it. That we were all the same material to hold the universe. That each part, each one of us was contained inside the body of the universe. A cell, DNA, inside the body of God. That we're all connected, we're all one, that we're all one soul, one universe, one organism. I can't emphasize this concept enough, that we are all connected. Each of us came to the world the same way, nestled inside the womb, the mothers that nourished us. And inside of the womb, everything was perfect. We wanted for nothing. We had food, were given to us, water was given to us, all things were taken care of without us thinking. And we moved. The universe moved as each kick we made to raise the ocean of our mother's womb. No more. And we were disconnected from this sense of perfection, from this world that nurtured us when that cord was severed. For the first time, we felt hunger, we felt cold, we felt what it meant like to be alone.